Single, a mom, an entrepreneur, juggling it all and talking about topics while on the go. Hi, I'm Lisa Waldron, and this is GO10LISA podcast. Are you ready to listen to the best podcast that's real, inspiring, and sometimes cringe? Okay, get ready, get comfy, and go! Hi everyone, this is On the Go. So I was watching something on TV the other day, and they had a special guest, Tanya Stevens, which is a famous reggae artist from Jamaica. And I think it was another podcast from Jamaica, I forgot the name. And she was saying or making a comment. I didn't watch the whole thing, I was just flipping through. And she made a comment that she doesn't want to have, what do you call it? She said she doesn't want a funeral, especially when people she don't get along with show up. Now, the only other person, I think people are just realizing that if you don't show up for me when I'm alive, why are you showing up when I'm not alive? And I thought it was so interesting because I met another lady who recently passed away from the farmer's market, and she said that to me a couple of years ago. So they never really had a funeral, you know? And it's just something for us to think about. When you pass away, what do you want happen? Have you communicated that to your family and friends? Are they going to respect your wishes? It's just food for thought. But is she saying, what is she saying? Is it right? Is it wrong? Well, at the end of the day, it's her life. It's what she wants. And she's trying to tell you all, make and cherish them when they are alive. And according to the lady that I met, her name was Sue, she said, I don't know if it's financial, but she had the same thought, you know. I'm not going to be there to see you, so, but she was the sweetest, kindest lady when I met her. I don't know how she was before. I can only talk about how my interactions with her. And, but it's true, because here it is that we're remembering the goodness, the smiles, the relationship and everything, and, life is short. So the bottom line is, live good, people, live good. Now, on to today's episode. Hello, everyone. I am Lisa Waldron, and I am the host of GO10LISA podcast. Thank you for joining me today, whether it's on YouTube by watching the video or you're listening to me on any podcast app. This is season 24, episode 3, and I'm about to do something new called GOfessions. This is your confessions. GOfessions. I put the go in front of it. GOfessions. So I'm going to be reading confessions from other people, from sites like Reddit and other sites out there. I'm just starting off with Reddit first. And basically, people write in, because we don't know people's situation, whether they're alone or they just... Sometimes it's like journaling, right? Like you write down your feelings to get it off your chest, get it off your head. And so with this platform, people are just writing about stuff that's on their conscience, and people are commenting and giving advice or whatever, and sometimes we just need to just bounce things off people. And let me tell you something, people are just spilling their guts and talking about everything. But in this first time doing this on my podcast, because on my podcast I'm going to be doing different segments that are new for season 24. And I just wanted to do something that is interesting and relatable. So the 5 confessions that I'm about to do today, I hope that you guys enjoy and can relate to it. But I really want you guys to subscribe to GO10LISA podcast whether on Instagram, on any podcast app, and even on YouTube. So that way you don't miss out on the latest. And if you're new to Go10LISA podcast, you can check out the previous 23 seasons before 24 on any podcast app. Be sure to check it out there. On YouTube, it will only start with season 24 as far as the full episodes, but it's still available on any podcast app. Hope that you guys enjoy this new segment called GOfessions. Let's get started. Hi everyone. This segment will be called GOfessions. GOfessions instead of confessions, GOfessions. They're taken from Reddit. And I selected the ones that I thought that you guys can relate to. So let's get started. Because after all, I did record this before and then have to do it all over again. But anyway, it's titled, My Roommate Ate My Donut. I shouldn't be that upset about it. Really, I shouldn't. But today was a terrible Monday. First thing at 9 a.m., my boss tells the team that management doesn't think that we don't do our jobs. No elaboration, no explanation, nothing. I strive to always work hard and go above and beyond at work. I love what I do, and I'm passionate about it. But this makes me not want to lift a effing finger any more than I have to. I shouldn't take it personally, but it still hurts. I asked for help from my roommates with a quick project. It wouldn't have taken even a minute of their time, but they didn't want to help me hold a cell phone. I'm exhausted, frustrated, and bone tired. Then I look at the kitchen counter and see the donut box in the trash. I asked my roommate, what happened to the donuts? And they said they ate the last one because they thought I already ate my donut. It was split between myself and my two other roommates. The one didn't want anything, so I paid their share and paid for 2 out of the 3 donuts so they wouldn't have to worry about eating a effing donut they didn't want. Long story, so I bought it for my mom. No, I didn't eat mine. No sorry, no apology, or anything. Just silence. I don't think I'm going to offer to make banana loaves anymore. The end. So then a couple of people responded in the comments and Reddit to this post, right? And one of them said, I made a huge lasagna once, enough for like 9 people, and offered dinner to my roommates. Roommate number 1 took a piece or 2 and thanked me. Normal. Roommate number 2 took 4 pieces, then packed 3 more servings for himself to eat later. He literally ate food planned well over half of the entire thing. I was planning on eating it the next couple of days, but there was only 1 piece left. I was shocked. And that was the last time I cooked for him/her. Can you guys relate? Have you ever made anything to the point that the people that you made it for or offered just ate it off? You know what I mean? Well, as far as the comment that I just read, right? I think, which one can you relate to? Which one, if your roommate or your family member or somebody made food and whatever, I think I'm leaning more towards number 1 initially. I would just take one and just thank them, right? But it depends on how many people are in the house, how many it was made, and obviously they both said they made enough, right? But for roommate number 2 to like not only take, but they planned out for the week. I think personally, like reading everything, the cook should have done that. You know what I mean? Because with chefs out there that I've heard, or with any cooks or anything, you always pack your food because you're so busy cooking for the masses that you never think about yourself. I learned that a couple of years ago, like when we were, my family used to throw parties and stuff. And you get so busy and excited, especially if you're hosting, and then you forget about yourself. So along the years, I think somebody mentioned, no, put aside your food. That's what the chefs and everyone do, because when you look at it, by the time everyone comes and eat, you haven't eaten, and then you realize that you haven't put your plate aside. So technically, I think the person who's cooking shouldn't have assumed and just communicated, but you should know the dynamics of your roommates or friends. But now you know. It's unfortunate that you have to go through one of the experiences first for you to get it, but all of this could have just been eased over with just communication. And I think that roommate, the one who cooked, probably was thinking common courtesy, but nowadays, people don't think that way. Back in the day, I used to cook lasagna and stuffed shells, which my son loves, but now he's vegan. And the same thing would happen. It's like I cook it, I would take a slice, and then the next thing I know, he went back for thirds and fourths, and it's like, to the point that when it first happened, I was like, you could at least left me some, So what he does is that he would leave me one or two slices afterwards, but then he would take it, and then I realized, well, at least he's eating, at least he enjoys my cooking, you know what I mean? That's how I look at it. But if you're a roommate and you have roommates, then you know that money's probably tight, so you need to conserve. So shout out to the one that packed for the next couple of days. I mean, I was like, wow. What do you guys think? Can you guys relate? Have this ever happened to you? Comment down below. Hello, guys. This is GOfessions number 2. And this one is titled, I've been driving with my high beams on for months. So about 2 months ago, I got a job that is about a 20-minute commute away. For context, I drive on a divided highway. It is dark there and back. I am a relatively new driver and have only previously driven on the highway a handful of times. Every day it is dark when I drive to and from work. Before this, I rarely drove on the highway and almost never at night. After a few days of driving, I noticed I was having trouble seeing on the highway. One of my headlights was burnt out, but I didn't realize. I tried to think back to driver's ed and remembered my instructor saying something about turning on lights after a certain time. So I played around with the switch until I could see fine. So every day when I drove to work, I would turn on my headlights. Flash forward to today. My dad looks at my car and tells me one of my headlights is burnt out. I go check with him and turn my lights on to check with him, and he says, "No, your low lights, not your high beam lights." It was in that moment that I realized that I have been driving around for 2 months with my high beams on. How did I never notice? I am a literal moron. How have I not caused an accident? I am literally the worst. Now I can't stop thinking about all those people who drove past me for the past 2 months thinking I was just an a-hole who didn't care about other people's visions. Well, I can assure you I am not an a-hole, just a dumb A. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Please drive safe, everyone. I certainly will from now on. So guys, can you relate to that one? I can say that's me because not to that degree, but that has happened before, where one of my lights wasn't working and I had to use my beam lights on the highway. Let me tell you, it's the worst thing, but I had no choice until I can get it fixed. But I live in Georgia in the United States, right? And it is very dark in Georgia, especially in the morning, especially with sunset. And so I can relate to this post because there are certain roads that there's no lights, and therefore I have to turn on my beam light. But if I see a car coming, I quickly turn it off. And that's what a lot of drivers do in Georgia, especially on neighborhoods or areas that there is no street lights, and also I put on, even if there are lights, if it's early in the morning, I put on my beam lights because there's lots of deers and animals that run out from nowhere. So I can relate. So let's see what a couple of the and sometimes, to her defense, I'm assuming it's a girl. Let me see. Yeah, and yeah, it doesn't say, but I'm assuming it's a her. But to their offense, I can say that if it's a new car, sometimes you don't know what your gadgets are, because with my car when it was new, I didn't know, because the car kind of like have like new gadgets, and I was like, it looks like the light is on, and then so it's kind of like the reverse, like it wasn't on until we had a chance to figure it out. But let's see what the comments said. Well, some people are just being negative and saying the worst, especially today when everyone has those retainer burner 9,000 headlights. Okay, I guess they must be a car person because I don't know about that. Okay, so I'm just going to read one comment because there are a lot. Well, let's see. Okay, so somebody said, I always do. My father taught me that when I got my license. Thing is, these neutron stars for headlights literally spend across 2,000 degrees or something. Even looking at the side still blinds me, LOL. It does. It does work on normal bright lights, but the devil ones blind. Okay, blind my ancestors. They do. But another comment said, so I do a lot of 10 hour plus. I do a lot of 10 plus hour drives at night. The trick is to look at the white line on the right side when passing cars, or when another car is coming at you on any road. Allows you to stay in your lane, and it takes the headlights out of your direct line of vision, reduces eye strain and blindness from a-holes and our friendly neighborhood moron here. Has been a complete lifesaver on my eyes and fatigue ever since reading that tip. Have to pull over less often. It sounds ridiculous, but it actually does work. Trust me. I was skeptical at first, but now I am using the trick a few years. Can 10,000% confirm. Really helps in the rain too with any headlight. Okay, so that was a good tip. And it's true. Let's say that you are on the opposite end of that person that has on their beam light. When that beam light is like shining in your eyes, you can't see. And that has happened to me, in the early mornings as well. And what I do is just try to slow down. But this person gave a perfect tip to, look away. You shouldn't be going fast and stuff like that. But yeah, guys, comment down below and let me know if you can relate or if you have any tips for anyone. Yeah. Hello, everyone. This is GOfessions number 3, and this one is titled, I Pissed Myself at My Best Friend's House in 5th grade. In 5th grade, my best friend and I had a sleepover on a school night. Her house's, that's how they typed it. Her house's main toilet was broken. So they had to use the one in her parents' room. I had really bad anxiety back then, so I really didn't want to go into her parents' room, especially not in the middle of the night. So I held my pee all night until morning. In the morning, my friend asked me if I wanted to get dressed in her room or the bathroom, and my dumb A said her room. I had to pee so badly. I got dressed and went to in front of her parents' room door to wait for my friend because I was too scared to go in there. And I ended up pissing myself. I walked back to her room in shame and wrapped my hoodie around my waist to hide the wet spot in my shorts. When she came back, she asked why was there wet footprints leading to her room? And instead of owning up to my actions, I blamed it on her Great Dane. I said, I slipped in your dog's pee. We're 16 and 17 now, and I still haven't told her. The end. So there's only one comment under this post. It looks like it's freshly new. Yeah, it's a freshly new comment. But pretty much she said, pretty sure she knows. You wouldn't have kept quiet about it if you stepped in dog piss. She probably just saved you from embarrassment. So here is the thing, right? A Great Dane. Think of a Great Dane like a Scooby Doo. That's, if you watch the cartoon Scooby Doo, that's what a Great Dane looks like, right? Which is a dog. And I'm pretty sure that if you own an animal, you pretty much know where the dogs regularly pee unless they're going through something, and you pretty much know the pee, the poop, how they pee and poop, the color, that whole bunch of stuff, right? And if you know that your dog never pees by your parents' door, I'm sure the girl knows it wasn't her dog. You know what I mean? And not only that, hello, the footprints. So there was pee. Normally when a dog pees, the pee doesn't trickle. They pee in one spot and it stays there. Pretty much they lick or clean themselves, but the way that they pee, they wouldn't need to lick or clean. It's probably like the little drips they would probably be cleaning, but it wouldn't be so much pee where it's like trickling like evidence to a certain room. That's not how an animal does it when they pee. So I agree with the comment. I'm pretty sure that the girl knows. And not only that, I'm sure she probably smelt it or seen it on your clothes or whatever. And once again, this boils down to communication, just talk it up. But talk it out in the sense of, oh my gosh, I can't believe I had to pee so bad and I couldn't hold it because you were taking so long. Something, but, teenagers, they put so much stress on themselves. And I completely understand because you're at somebody's house. You don't want to wake up the parents, even though the bathroom is there. You know what I mean? But maybe go back old school way where they have like a little chimney, a little thing underneath your bed, or something. I don't know. But I agree. What do you guys think? You think that her friend knows that it was her and not her dog, and she tried to put the blame on the dog? How would you feel? Would you have called her out on it and said, no, it's not my dog, it's you? Or would you just let it be because she's already, you empathize with her, sympathize with her, like, it's more empathy to say, you're putting yourself in her shoes, like, what would you do? And you had to go so badly. But, yeah, comment down below and let me know. Hello, everyone. This is GOfessions number 4. And all of these I'm getting from Reddit, right? And this one is under the section AITA. Am I the a-hole? And this one is titled AITA to not give my stepmother an emotional response? In other words, am I the a-hole to not give my stepmother an emotional response? So here is how it starts. I, in parentheses, 18 MB, I had to look it up. What is NB? And I had to look it up. It means non-binary. Live in my dad 40M. I guess he's a male. And my stepmother's 42F, female, house while I attended university for free. My school is paid via sponsorship, and I receive a living allowance that I use to pay my bills. They've approached me about my spending habits before, which then leads to an intervention. I won't defend myself. My spending has been on the worst end, with getting fired in December and January birthdays following. My stepmother is a very vocal woman, and when her emotions rise, she tends to feel the need to speak out on emotion-based thinking, whereas I focus on logical-based thinking. This is something she has informed me that irritates her because I give no emotional response. When she gets like this, it feels like there's no escaping her anger. So I prefer to stay quiet rather than say something that triggers her to yell. They asked me to make a budget for my spending, and I did, using the income I get from my allowance and estimating my expenses. She got upset because she expected me to base it on former spending, not limit future spending, something I didn't know I needed to do. I've always budgeted with the present amount without any past factors to justify it. So I wasted her time with my fake budget and put no thought into it. When I tried to explain, she told me I was making excuses. She found my old resume that I left on her desk and took it upon herself to mark it up. This is what she messaged me. The number of errors in here, man, I would immediately throw this out if I received it, because again, you're showing that you don't care about yourself. So you won't care about their business. You do not get to think that people aren't hiring you because of you being queer or short hair or. It's because you're handing them a S as a representation of who you are. Plain and simple. Before this, I had a conversation with her about how I dress and how my short hair makes me look bad. She told me if I just put in a little bit more effort, dress more feminine, and put on makeup, I then get a job. So I redid my resume / cover letter and sent it to them for their feedback. I returned home last night to pick up some of my things. I had been staying at my boyfriend's house so I can get work done, and my stepmother began to yell at me for her caring too much and being seen as the a-hole because she cares and I don't. She was crying, and I was silent. When she asked why I don't care enough to respond to her, I told her I don't want to worry that I'm going to get yelled at every time I talk about my feelings and walked away. I'm frustrated because she claims that I don't care. I do, just not as emotionally. I can't bring myself to refute against her because she scares me. I understand the frustration, but I don't get why she is so upset about it. I'm starting to wonder if I did something else that they're not telling me or I'm not picking up on that is causing this reaction. So then the question is at the end, AITA, am I the a-hole? The end. So what do you guys think? So at first I was like, why is she mentioning why is this person mentioning the races, not the races, the sexuality? And I was like, oh, okay. Halfway in the middle, I was like, oh, okay, okay. I see why now, because it has to do with the outer appearance and how the family and friends, and how the stepmother, perceives. So, what do you guys think about this one? I picked this one because it was interesting, to the point that I think everyone can relate to the point of you have a parent that's on you, on you, on you. You know what I mean? And it kind of reminds me a little bit of me as a parent, where I'm talking to my child and my child have this I don't care attitude, but now in his 20s, it's like all this talk now. So it's kind of like the reverse, you know what I mean? But I, as a parent, had to learn everyone is different. And I also can relate it in the sense of my mother, you know what I mean? Because this mother kind of reminded me of my mother in the sense of my mother would say something, and sometimes I respond, sometimes I don't respond. And then she gets upset that I didn't respond the way that she wanted me to respond. You know what I mean? And she's very dramatic. And my mother is very dramatic. My son thinks that I'm dramatic. So I don't know. But it's kind of like the point of, yeah, I heard what you said, but what do you want me to do? So, okay, so let me give an example. My mother would say, oh my gosh, so and so happened. And then she'll come, she doesn't hear anything, right? Because this is all over the phone. So then she doesn't hear anything. She's like, are you still listening? Are you there? I was like, uh-huh, yeah. And then, she would like going on. She's like, and then here comes the dramatics, you know? And I was like, okay, because there are certain things, certain people that she talks about in the family, and I'm like, I don't want to hear anything about them because it's just the same old all the time, right? And then she still proceeds to talk about these family members. So I have no response. And so therefore, she still wants a response from me. And I don't give her the reaction. I think that's the key word. I don't give her the reaction that she wants. So therefore, then she starts, I just don't understand you. And I was like, well, and then we get into an argument because of my reaction. So I can relate to, sometimes you don't want to poke the bear. Sometimes the best thing to do is just be quiet. But then the person wants a response. But then when you give them the response that they don't like what this person is saying, that their mother and their stepmother is going to yell. My mother is like, oh my God, I just don't understand. And I'm like, but you have to respect what I said. I said from the beginning that I didn't want to hear about these people, but you continuously talk about these people. And therefore my reaction is, like I'm yawning or whatever. Like, I don't care. I heard what she said, but it's like, what do you want me to do? Oh my gosh, really? Oh, wow, fascinating. And I'm like, I'm not fake like that. You know what I mean? If it's something that I didn't know and something that piqued my interest, then you'll get a little bit of reaction from me. But in this situation, let's see what some of the comments said. And let's see, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so some people are saying NTA. That means, I guess that means not the a-hole. Okay, it sounds like your stepmother berates you and claims you don't care, but only when you're not doing exactly what she wants you to do. Sounds like she sucks. I hope your dad is better, but I'm guessing not. Okay, all right. Um so somebody wrote, so a lot of people are saying that this person is not the a-hole, right? And another comment said, my school is paid via sponsorship and I receive a living allowance. If you're getting a living allowance, maybe stop living with this woman. Well, that's a point. But I guess I get the impression that they don't live with them, but occasionally, I guess they do live with them. I don't know. I guess the person goes back and forth. Okay. But basically, everyone is saying the person is not the a-hole. Another comment says, your stepmother sounds like she's trying to control your life and emotions instead of actually caring about you. You have the right to voice your feelings without fear of being yelled at or judged for not responding emotionally enough. Keep standing up for yourself and don't let her negative comments affect you. Yeah, it's similar. I mean, no parent is perfect, no child is perfect, and we learn, right? So I think the stepmother is trying to have their best interest. It's just once again communication and how it's communicated. And one thing I've learned as a parent, you think your child is not listening to you because maybe they're not responding the way that you want them to respond, but trust me on what I'm about to say. They are listening. And I had to learn that, I really had to learn that. And how I realized that is by their actions. Now, there's a couple of times I would say it once or twice. And now I'm at the point where I don't go past three unless it's like really urgent or something that's really bugging me. Like, why aren't the dishes done in a timely manner, or something like that, And then I said to myself, why am I talking about this all the time? You know what I mean? And because if anything, I'm stressing myself out, and then sometimes you have to let the child learn learn from their actions, you know what I mean? And sometimes they have ways of figuring out stuff for themselves, but as parents, we can be a little bit overbearing, and but we just want the best interest for our child. So no, I agree. I don't think this person is the A, but it is a communication thing on both parts. Hope this helps. Comment down below and let me know if you agree. Hello, everyone. This is GOfessions number 5 that I've gotten from Reddit, and I'm about to read it to you. This one is titled AITA. That means, am I the a-hole for refusing to work out with my boyfriend? So let's get started. I've, and then it has in parentheses 28F, I guess that's female, recently gotten into lifting weights and going to the gym to build up my strength. A few months ago, I would have never imagined myself to be going to the gym multiple times a week, but I overcame a lot of my social anxiety surrounding it. My BF, 30M, I guess that's boyfriend, 30 male, is very strong and has been going to the gym for a while now. I asked him to come with me sometimes so I have a buddy and so he can show me the ropes on certain things. However, the last time we went together, he really hurt my feelings. For one, he's always trying to control what I do there. I did one machine, and while he was doing it, he went to another to pass the time. He then was super stern with me and told me not to do that and to wait my turn. He said not to do another workout in between, even though I see him doing this all the time. After I was done on a machine, he came over to use it and then started saying, "This is all you can do. I can do this with one leg." He's always trying to push me to lift more, even when I tell him I physically can't and I know my body. He makes me feel bad about my strength or lack thereof. Lastly, I told him I wanted to do some core exercises and I was excited to show him something since he's always showing me stuff. He started talking to me so loud in the gym saying, "You do know those don't do anything, right?" And started lecturing me. I was so embarrassed. Once he came to do them with me, he looked really unamused. And then he made a comment about a girl next to us saying, "Now that's a good core exercise." I got so pissed and left the gym. He started saying I have serious problems and I'm too sensitive. That that's the way he learned that the way he learns is by being pushed, and he didn't mean to hurt me. That I should have seen the good in what he was trying to do. I explained I want to be built up, not torn down. That I can take some criticism, but I am not his bro, and I'm really trying as hard as I can. I told him I wouldn't continue going to the gym with him. AITA, am I the a-hole for not going to the gym with my boyfriend? Okay, the end. Well, what do you guys think? I don't think the person telling us is the a-hole. I kind of think it's the boyfriend. What do you guys think? But here's another case of communication. But as a boyfriend, girlfriend, you shouldn't be embarrassing each other. You know what I mean? And then to go and say another woman, I'm like putting myself in this woman's shoes. And my man is saying, complimenting another woman and saying, "Oh, that's a core workout." I would be pissed. I would be upset too. Would I have left? It all depends on if we drove together. But I would be upset because it was like, I'm trying. And yeah, so I agree. I wouldn't go back. Me personally, I wouldn't go back with him. I wouldn't. I would go and do my own thing, build up my own strength, do my own thing, and then show him. But basically, when guys are in the gym, they like to show off. Am I wrong? But I've seen lots of guys in the gym, and they like to show off. And then again, some of them genuinely want to help you because then they want to be close to you and feel like, oh, like they're doing something and helping you. With this guy, I just think is his communication. Yes, he may have been working out before. And yes, because I had a trainer one few years ago at the gym, right? And he was telling me to do he was younger than me, but he was coming on to me, but that's besides the point. But the bottom line is that, what I'm about to say is that there were moments where I felt like I couldn't do any more of whatever that exercise was. And he was like, "Come on, you can do it." And you don't know what you really have in you until you do it. You may know your body, but sometimes I don't think anybody truly knows their body. Because our bodies are capable of so many things. But if this is her first time going there, I can understand, and it's kind of like when a person is at a different level versus your level. So I've said this before that my son's father, like all of us, my son's father, me and our son, we play tennis, right? But for whatever reason, my son's father thinks that he's better than us. I've taught my son, right? I've taught our son to play tennis when he was younger. And I actually think if my son just focuses on his serving, he plays better, if he's focused, and just have the practice, but he's more into soccer. Anyway, there was a time when we were in Florida, and we were visiting. My son and I was visiting family, and my son's father was there, and we decided to go play tennis. And I got upset because he didn't want to play with us, because he felt like his friends were coming, and he had already had a match game going on, and he thought that because he knew how to play, but then he wanted to get better, so that he took private tennis lessons, right? And basically, in that moment, I thought that my son's father was the a-hole, because he played with his friend, fine, because you already had that planned. But however, he didn't want to play, and I wanted him to play with our son. And he didn't. So I said, you know what? I played with my son, and guess what my son's father did? While he was, because we were playing on the court next to him, I can see him at the corner of my eyes watching us, watching. And I'm like, let him watch. Let him see that we're having fun. We're hitting the ball. We're actually improving our game. You know what I mean? And we're doing and having fun. And he did, after he finished his game, hit a few rounds with my son. I keep saying my son is our son. And he was like, oh, you've gotten better. Yeah, if only you had done that. So I still remember that incident because it really pissed me off. You know what I mean? And I was upset about it, because you could have made time to whatever. So he made time, but I communicated that I was upset about it. You know what I mean? And then he hit a few rounds, and then, to the father's side, he was coming from work, and whatever. We all have plans and we all have stuff, But yeah, I had this thing about me that when I played tennis, ever since I was in high school on the tennis team, people would say to me that I look like I'm not about to hit the ball, but I hit the ball and hit a good serve or a good return, And that's my little thing. I don't know what it is. So yeah, I can see that he was watching and whatever. But it's just something about, I bring up all of this to say it's something about guys and your ego, and how they carry on when it comes to sports. Like, whoa, 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 look at me, I'm better, and you're just a woman or a child or whatever. You don't know anything. Look at me, But yeah, I don't know. So let's read some of the comments. And pretty much everybody is saying NTA, not the a-hole for the girl writing it, right? Now I understand why they're writing whether or not they're male and female, so therefore you can get to see the full context of who is who, right? So here is a comment that says, huge red flag. This behavior is controlling and weird. The machine thing really stuck out to me. You're going to tell another adult what they can and cannot do in a gym they pay for? So they said after I was done on machine, he came over to use it, and so they're just recapping the part that they're talking about. In my admittedly anecdotal experience, guys who focus on how much stronger they are than their girlfriends like this tend to be ... problematic and dangerous. I don't know what the power dynamics are in their relationship normally, but this small excerpt sounds like he gets off on belittling her and pointing out their imbalance. Even if this is the kind of negging and banter he does with his guy friends to push each other at the gym, the tone sounds inherently different when directed. 1, by a man towards a woman, and especially 2, towards his girlfriend. Yep. So other people are just commenting and saying, yep, red flag, red flag. They're all saying, yep, somebody agreed with me, and negging her by commenting on another woman's technique at the gym. My mind can say, Maybe he likes that other woman because he's been going to the gym longer than she has, and probably seen that woman. For him to be commenting about her specifically, why? Is he a trainer? Oh, somebody wrote what I just said. Is he's acting like a trainer, not a boyfriend. She asked to join her. Why would she even want to do anything with him? Definitely a red flag or three. NTA. And then somebody wrote, I'd fire my trainer if he spoke to me like that. And then somebody is in defense of the trainers. Trainers don't act this way. It's rude and harassment. Regardless of who is saying these things, trainers encourage and motivate. And trainers know better than to push someone past their limits. It's called progressive overload. You're thinking of grill sergeants. I don't know if he's officially a trainer, though. I don't know. So I'm reading some of the other comments, and okay, so somebody wrote, somehow when we left, it felt like it was my fault. After he made the comment about how the other girl was a good exercise was a good core exercise, I said, I guess my exercises aren't good enough for you, and apparently I don't know anything. He said that he didn't mean it in a negative way and started saying that I clearly have serious issues and insecurity and put it on me. He said in no way was he trying to make me feel dumb, but I felt he was when he was talking super loud at me saying about exercising means nothing. Yeah, yeah. Yep. Lots more other comments. It's like over 125 comments. I'm not going to read all of them. So somebody wrote, so he's trying to make you feel crazy for him being an a-hole. You already changed your life once by starting on your fitness journey. Change it again and lose the boyfriend. Why do you want to be with someone like that? My boyfriend is a gym rat and would never speak to anyone, let alone his girlfriend, like that. Yeah. And so somebody wrote, he needs to apologize since he is the a-hole in this. Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of people are just commenting the same thing. And then this is the last comment I'm going to read. NTA, and your boyfriend sounds like a stereotypical toxic gym bro. It's okay to give you pointers or suggestions or make out if your form or point out if your form can cause an injury. But it's never okay to disparage someone for how much they can lift. Oh, and he wasn't trying to motivate you. He was trying to control you and belittle you and make himself look and feel superior. Yeah, yeah. So with my trainer back then, even though he did say, you can do more or whatever, I did push back. Let me just clarify that. I did push back a little bit and said, no, I can't. But then I would take a breather and then I would do it. And then he would say, he was so nice, and would say, okay, but we need to work on that, So yeah, I agree with all the comments about the trainers. But like the girl said, your body, and sometimes your body can go a little bit more, but it's all about communication. I think all of the confessions that I've read today, what was the common theme? It was about communication, And I picked out these confessions hoping that you all can relate. So comment down below and tell me which one of the 5, because I did 5 GOfessions from Reddit today. So comment down below and tell me out of the 5, which one you related to the most. This is going to be a new segment on GO10LISA podcast. So be sure to check it out. Yeah, comment down below. Okay, guys, so this is a new segment called GOfessions. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Just relatable things, because there's so many problems in the world, And sometimes it's I try to pick like some of the light-hearted ones to start off with, and not get too deep, since this is the first segment of GOfessions that I'm doing. And hope that you guys enjoy. Don't forget that GO10LISA podcast can be found on any podcast app, and you can also watch it on YouTube. With season 24, you won't see the live version of me, but hopefully in season 25, I'm just trying to work out all the kinks. But yeah, like I said, all of these comments and all of these information of these confessions were found on Reddit, and I just try to pick stuff that's relatable for the first time out the gate. Hope that you guys enjoy. Don't forget that Go10Lisa is also on Instagram, which is Go10Lisa underscore podcast. Be sure to check it out. Don't forget to subscribe and give this a thumbs up on across the platforms. Okay, guys, until next time, peace, love. Bye.